Hello, and welcome to the story of Bailey's Law. My name is China, and I've been involved in animal rescue and advocacy since I was 12, working with dogs, cats, and horses. 2 days before Christmas in 2017, I rescued a tiny, sick, malnourished puppy that I would later name Bailey Aspen. His mother was taken to a local animal control, and I wanted to help find her a home. Naturally, I went to the local animal control's website, assuming there would be a photo I could share with friends and family. I was shocked to find there were no photos. This upset me, but rather than just complain about what I didn't like, I decided to create the change that I wanted to see. Therefore, I started contacting all of my local senators and representatives. Representative Demetrius Douglas liked my idea, and we began working on the bill in September 2018. Thus, Bailey's Law was born. The idea was that all government-run animal facilities would be required to upload photos of impounded and adoptable animals. I argued that in the day of age where online shopping was wiping out brick-and-mortar stores, we had to adjust our strategy to increase adoptions. My research at the time found that potential adopters were not likely to drive down to a facility unless they know there is an animal they are interested in. By posting photos of these animals online, potential adopters were able to shop for their next furry friend. At the time of my research in 2018, facilities that had begun to post photos saw an increase in adoptions by 30%. I further argued that by posting a photo of an impounded stray pet, owners could search a wider area much faster. Unfortunately, sometimes pets travel faster than we would imagine, and they may never be found if we didn't expand our search area. Granted, you should still visit a facility in person for a better look, but the photos may help locate a missing pet faster. By getting impounded and adoptable pets out of the shelter faster, you not only save lives, but increase revenue to save more lives. Bailey's Law entered the Georgia legislature session in the House of Representatives in 2019. As it was introduced later in the session, it was rolled over to the 2020 session. A duplicate bill was introduced in the Senate that year in an attempt to push it through faster. Unfortunately, the bill was killed in February 2020 as it was lobbied against by PETA under the argument that the bill would discriminate against animals that may not fit the standard of society deems as cute. I argued many ugly animals happen to go viral and get adopted, but I digress. Originally, this project was intended to earn my Girl Scout Gold Award. I had previously earned my Silver Award by designing and building over 50 feral cat homes for a local animal rescue to assist with their TNR and cat colony initiatives, and I regularly gave clinics to the public teaching how to create my cat house design. Unfortunately, I never received my Gold Award as my local Girl Scout Council did not find my project fit. However, I want to stress I do not see this project as a failure. Bailey's Law was never about earning an award or making my dog famous. I simply wanted to save lives and be the change I wanted to see. Too often I was told I was too young to be doing what I was doing. A few months after the following news segment aired, I held an assembly at my school with Representative Douglas and Bailey, instructing my peers on the change I want to create and inspiring them to create their own changes. Even though the bill never became a law, it opened a discussion for animal facilities. Many began posting photos online, either directly or allowed volunteers to come in and manage a social media platform on their behalf. Especially when the COVID-19 pandemic hit and everyone was forced to stay home, there was a surge of animals being posted online and thus a surge of adoptions, which was my goal and why I believe my project was still a success. Now, without any further ado, here is the original news segment that aired in March of 2019. Unfortunately, the news channel has since been bought out, resulting in the original video no longer existing on YouTube, which is why I have created this video to preserve my work and hopefully inspire others.
On CBS 46
Thank you for watching.
News at 5.
It's a sad day when we have to side with convicted domestic abusers versus law enforcement.
We're at the state capitol taking a look at the bills that did not pass and those that are still moving forward.
A 17-year-old Girl Scout is hoping to make it mandatory for all animal shelters to have an online inventory consisting of photos of all their animals.
Hopefully that will clear up more space and bring in revenue.
Coming up, I'll tell you how she plans to create Bailey's Law.
A better chance of adoption. That's what one local teenager is hoping all animals have through a law she is trying to get passed. She calls it Bailey's Law.
CBS 46's Melissa Stern spoke with China Brown, who's hoping to get results and an increase in adoptions with online exposure.
A local 17-year-old Girl Scout is hoping to make it mandatory for all animal shelters to have an online inventory consisting of photos of all their animals. She plans on doing so through something called Bailey's Law.
Bailey's Law is inspired by my dog, Bailey Aspen, who was rescued off the streets.
Bailey's mother went to animal control. Brown wanted to help her find a home, so she looked online.
I looked for photos of her on a website so that I could share with possible adopters and whatnot. And while Henry County Animal Control does post photos of impounded animals, a lot of counties do not.
She realized how convenient that was, but quickly noticed how many shelters do not post pictures of their animals. In fact, some don't even have a website.
The problem is a lot of shelters in underfunded areas do not have the funds for even internet.
She believes potential adopters won't travel to a shelter unless they know there's an animal they're interested in.
By posting photos of animals that can be adopted online, a person can go and look online for an animal, whereas their work hours or whatnot may not allow them to be able to go on and look at the shelter themselves.
She says several shelters she works with agree this is needed.
I work with a lot of rescues, and they have told me that once they started posting photos of their animals available for adoption, their adoption rates went up 50%.
Brown reached out to State Representative Demetrius Douglas for help. He thought it was a good idea and says it will also help people find lost and missing pets along with animals up for adoption.
You have to go to 3 shelters sometimes. Sometimes somebody will pick up your dog because they see your dog, 4 streets over, a mile away, and they'll take him home or take him to the shelter near where they live.
Brown says she simply wants to reduce the overcrowding in local animal shelters and reduce the number of animals getting euthanized.
Hopefully that will clear up more space and bring in revenue. And then for the animals themselves, by increasing the exposure, they'll get more homes.
Brown and Representative Douglas say they're working at all the kinks, but they're hoping that this bill passes next year. Reporting in Atlanta, I'm Melissa Stern, CBS 46 News.
China is one to watch.
Right, yeah, she is, and it makes sense, right? You see the picture, you fall in love. Mm-hmm. Bring that puppy home.
Yep, that's all it takes,
Yeah.
too. Once you get them in the door,
that's it.
then you're
right?
sold.
Then they take over the house, but that's okay. You can sum up this Georgia winter in one word: damp. And loosened soil means trees are falling.